Hey, Sound Engraver here. Welcome back to another installment of completing the structure. In this case, we will be working on bass and fitting our bass instrument into the overall structure of the piece. You may have guessed with these two tracks here. And so for this highlighted track, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into SuperCollider and record with the syntax I have prepared. So let's go ahead and get into SuperCollider. And I have a pattern here, the syntax here, and I've included a Pwrand, as you can see here, and I have a bit of an affinity toward Pwrand. I like probability, I like controlled chance. I think my 8th grade math teacher would be really proud of me using this kind of probability in electronic music of all things. So it looks like a normal P-bind def with our Pwrand and our P-Func N using our shorter syntax for our scale or our mode here. And without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and record it. You know, as this is structure, there's no orchestration, there's no mixing. It does feel quite crowded. It's kind of messy, it's kind of muddy. So I may just keep the kick and I may keep the harmony. I think I will mute the percussion, the embellishments there. I have to clean that section up anyway, so we're all good there. All right, so bars 33 to 49. I think that's a good section. We've got our main harmonic sequence here. So what I will do here, let me just clean up this piano roll here a little bit. There we go. And move that over. I think it's all pretty good. It started, looks like it starts about 2 beats late. So let's go ahead and just move it over and see how it sounds there. All right, so because it's the bass, type of bass line, I do want to start the section on the tonic, so we're just going to go ahead and make that a C sharp. All right, let's see how this sounds. All right, so some good things there. One, I like the repetition. If you can see some of this, stuttered, you know, where it's just one pitch here. You see that stutter motion there. Also here, and some of it back at the beginning. Now, with this particular section, we're out of a long intro, out of a intro getting into a development of some sort, I would like to start a little slower. I would like to start this section where the bass is a little slower. I like the activity here. It's a little crowded. I do like the movement. So what I'm thinking of doing is simply moving this section over for cleanup later, but moving it over to the melodic sequence, harmonic sequence from 57 to 73. And I think I will just go ahead and clean it up right at 73. And this section is warrant for editing, but we'll go ahead and just top it off with a tonic here and edit it later. Perfect. All right, so we'll get back to bar 33, and with that kind of motion that we have in our probability here in SuperCollider, I want that motion. I just want it double the time. I want to expand it by 200%. So giving it that slower feel, same activity, but slower feel. So we can do that by simply doubling the values inside these two P-seeks. And we can simply just double it at the end, right at the end of our Pwrand, and with a simple multiple of 2. And that should slow it down considerably. So let's go ahead and record again and see what we have. And this has a 75% chance, this sequence right here, where it's essentially, I believe, a group of 3 16th notes or 3 8th notes quite quick. I can't remember the meter right now, but it's rather fast. So we'll give that about 55%, and we'll give this about 45%. Let's see how that is. That's rather pathetic. I mean, it's got a character of some sort, but let's go ahead and change that. I've never tried this before. I'm going to go ahead and do 1.5, and we'll give it we'll give it 65 and 35. Let's just hear how it sounds right now. It's got potential. So let's put that in the context of our harmony and our kick. All right, not quite. I'm going to go back to 2, and I'm going to go ahead and give this 75 and 25. All right, so I think it's going to be probably the same tempo. I want to play with some values, so let me indulge just a few moments. I hadn't practiced this ahead of time, so I'm just going as is. I don't think this is going to work effectively, so, but it's part of experimentation. This is experimental electronic music after all, so let's give this a shot. That may work, so let's give that a go. So it had that triplet meter that may work at the start of the section here. It has that walking kind of da 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 da. It may work, it may not, but I think I'm going to use this material for that and edit it in the future. What we have to do is just move it a little over that way. That's your way on the camera. And I will go ahead and move it like so. And again, I really would like to start this on the tonic, so there we go. All right, let's see how that sounds moved over. I think I'm just gonna take the chance and delete that. And I think we're starting. All right, so leaving that material. Right. All right. So, yeah, that is for the editing room. And I think just to keep the consistency, what I'll simply do is drag it over. Yeah, sometimes it looks like it's going over the line, but it's really not. Drag that over and then repeat it. It has the motion. It is crowded. There's a lot of notes there. I would like to clean it up. I would like to give it a bit of a slower motion to that kind of da 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 da. You know, that motion there. I am after a slower version of the bass. Not as much of that vivacity there with the beginning bass. But that kind of triplet feel, or maybe duplet feel, if you will, does add some contrast for the bass. That one section. And now let's go ahead and look at the interlude. And I can't really remember what that harmony was, so we're gonna play it. I either hear no bass or a pedal tone, a bit of an ostinato. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this. All right. Let's see how this is. Something like that has to happen. So yeah, we'll just start with that. All right, now I know for this section between 73 and 89, I know that that's going to be ambience of some sort. So that's where I usually pull out and just have the synthesizer or some soundscapes, if you will, where I don't have a kick, I don't have bass. I'd like to bring the kick back in with, in a new section with some added percussion. Sometimes bass right away, sometimes not. So let's go ahead and hear it from here. And for now, I will unmute the percussion. that may be fine, just with introducing the percussion again. I think I will leave that without bass for now. So let's go ahead and hear the melody here. I believe this is the main harmonic sequence. So that's where our intro here is. Okay, so we've got the slower kind of that duplet, triplet bass feel here. I might add that, just one. And, let's see if I can cut this without it going berserk. Oh, nice. All right, let's add the second half of that one. See how that feels. So that's it. That is how I construct the bass line. And of course you can hear it's a little cluttered, it's a little crowded, so I have to take things out and move things over and tweak things and really tidy it up. I'm also going to do that for the additional percussion instruments as well. So that's it. I think I'm going to go ahead and on my own time do the same thing with my embellishments instrument you see on track 6. As you have seen with bass just now, I do the exact same for my embellishments. And you saw a little bit of that when I was starting the piece and finishing the piece. So I'll just go ahead and add that and tidy it up. And for our next video, I'm considering introducing to you my process in instrumentation and orchestration, and how to tweak things in the instruments themselves, maybe add some plugins, maybe add some automation, though I think automation will be its own video because it's already so comprehensive. But that's it. You know, this is really how I structure a piece from the beginning, and with some intuition and recording in SuperCollider, intuition with that syntax in SuperCollider, as well as just hearing it. That's how I structure a piece. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this process with me. And I'm really looking forward to completing this piece and seeing how this sounds. So hopefully the completed version is, more or less what you've seen here on YouTube. So yes, always be on the lookout for some more sound experimentation every Thursday. And as always, thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you next time.